it's Dan White here with the biggest sausage in roots rock, Donovan Frankenreiter. How are you, mate?
I'm doing really good.
Yeah. Have you had that one before, Frankenfurter?
Yeah, well, I've heard it all. It's spelt a million different ways.
Yeah.
Said a million different ways too.
Well, I mean, obviously your history is surfing professionally in competitions.
Yeah.
Was it funny when you were like maybe surfing in Spain or France when you heard your voice called out over your name called out over the speaker?
Some of them wouldn't even attempt the last name. They'd be
really?
in yellow Donovan front. It never came out right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you obviously grew up in California.
Yeah. Southern California. Yeah.
Southern California, San Diego.
Yeah, Laguna Beach.
Okay.
In that zone, yeah.
Oh, cool. That was that MTV thing recently.
Oh
about
gosh.
Laguna Beach.
Everybody keeps telling me like, oh, you know those girls from the hills or I don't know OC or something. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know any of them. No.
Anyway, now you were a professional surfer, playing guitar the whole time though.
Well, I started professional surfing at the age of 16, and I'm 35 now, and I still actually make a living surfing, like Billabong, and I have all these different endorsements, and I still get paid to surf, and it's beautiful. It's great, you know, like it's something I've been doing for a long time. But at the age of 16, I picked up the guitar, and it was just something that I brought with me everywhere, like on boats or like in airports. We'd have a lot of downtime, and I'd just be sitting there for like, it took me like 3 years to learn how to get chords and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning of like guitar playing, it's like, you either break through and you keep going or you just say, screw it, it's too hard, you know? So I just had so much time to kind of learn chords. And then I'd start seeing people on the road and being like, oh, you play guitar, teach me a song. And then that's kind of how it kind of blossomed into
to what it is now,
tunes,
to touring the world. And yeah, well, you do tour the world. You don't have to laugh at it. Now you release your first album on Jack Johnson's label, Rushfire Records.
Yeah.
Now, I had a question about this song and I've totally forgotten. Sorry. Oh, yeah. No. It's a really good question. That album was tested in Australia. It was first released in Australia before it was released in America.
Yep.
What's your relationship been with Australia? Was that...
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, you know, for me, you know, I've only, like, in the beginning, I've only, like, come over here to surf. And so, I mean, for the last, I don't know, it's been like 4 or 5 years, I've been coming over quite a bit to surf, but actually, you know, to play music, and it's, I don't know, to connect with the Aussie audience is incredible. I mean, they have some of the most fun, you know, festivals over here to be a part of. Like, I never thought I'd be a part of Falls or Byron Bay Blues and Roots, or I've been coming here since I was 14 years old, you know, surfing, and I remember, like, doing the Junior World Trials or something in North Narrabeen, and just, I don't know, really having a good feeling. I feel really good when I'm in Australia. You know, I love the people, I love the vibe, I love how people's mentality is, like, how they want to live. You know, I feel like they're just living in the moment, having a good time. There's always Barbies going on and beers getting passed around. It's just like, you know, people are smiling, you know. I get that vibe. It seems like there's a lot of coastal communities, you know, and so to me, I feel comfortable in those areas. Yeah,
well, I mean, the Australians definitely like you. Now, your music is blues and roots. Would you? I mean, obviously on the new album, you've introduced some new styles.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like just every one of my songs is written on the acoustic guitar, but it's kind of like, where do you want to take it from there? So, like the first record I made with Jack, I was never really in a band like where I wrote songs and sang. That was the first time I really ever came out on my own and like sang and did stuff. So I didn't really have a direction then. And then the second record, we went in there and kind of meshed it all together with a band and recorded that sort of somewhat live to 2-inch tape and did that sort of old school kind of. And then the third one was really neat to have Joe Cicciarelli, you know, produce it, engineer it, and mix it. And he just took all these songs that I had on acoustic and just had all these like great ideas, you know, like mariachi band on one song.
Yeah.
You know, just crazy stuff happened on the new record that was really great, and having Ben Harper come by and play, and having G Love come by and play harmonica, and so there's a lot of moments that were really special to me on this album.
It's your heart that has the mariachi band.
Yeah,
that's really
special because when I gave the demo to Joe, I was like, "What do you think of this song?" And that sort of that line in the chorus, that da 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 da, that was just like in the original was just me playing harmonica. And he's like, yeah, it's cool, but the harmonica, you know, like, I've heard that before. We got to get, like, a mariachi band. And I was thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like a mariachi band with, like, strings and pizzicatos and trumpets. And it was just insane when they all came in and this big mariachi band comes in and just lays it down. It was awesome.
Were they wearing the traditional kind of Mexican
I wish.
garb?
You know, but, hey, we're doing a gig in September, though, and they're going to
cool.
they're gonna come out and, like, sit in on that song. And I told them, like, if you guys do it, you got to have the full outfits. They're going to have the hats and all the whole. It's going to be pretty classic.
Now, I want to talk about a couple of other songs. Yeah, Too Much Water. That has a bit of a disco vibe.
Yeah, it's a trip. That one just came out with a couple of guys, this guy Jason and this guy Daniel, that live in Nashville. And we're just, I connected with a lot of different people on this record and co-wrote a lot of songs with just tons of different people. And that song just had that, I don't know, just that sort of that disco pulse groove.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, we recorded 15 songs or 14 songs, I think, at the end of the day, and that was one of them that made the record. 4 of them got cut, and that was the one that people kind of, it made it. It was one of the 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know, to me it's really weird. This record is like every song, when I listen to them, all 10 of them together, they all sound different. You know, like Too Much Water is so different than Come With Me, and Come With Me is so much different than Pass It Around, and Come Together, and they're all differently instrumentally and, you know, musically, but somehow they kind of cohesively fit together on an album, you know? But I kind of wanted that on this record. I didn't want somebody to listen to this and 5 songs into it be like, this again? Yeah. You know, I wanted somebody to be like, what, mariachi, man? Oh, no way, Hawaiian slack key guitar, and just tons of different sort of vibes going on. And so, I don't know, Joe did a good job doing that.
Yeah. So, is it the song Life, Love, Laughter?
Yeah.
That's the song on it, yeah?
Yeah, yep, that's the first song on it.
That's the first song, that's what I thought. Yeah. Now, that talks about laughter, of course, and you think that's pretty important to have, obviously, in your life, you know, not to take it too seriously.
No, but we're always cracking jokes, man. I mean, we love comedy movies, and we're all about having fun and laughing. I couldn't imagine walking around stiff all day or being too serious.
Well, something which you may, I mean, you would have definitely been involved with it. You definitely would have seen it. Your friend Jack Johnson did that film clip with Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, that was pretty funny.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the first time I actually met Ben Stiller, because when he was making that video, we were recording my first record.
In Hawaii.
So he said, we got to take a break, I'm doing a video, and I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, Ben Stiller, and I'm like, what? And so, like, if you look in there in the background, I'm like in the background of the video. But it's pretty funny, because like a year later, or 2 years later, Emmett Malloy made this thing for Taj's movie. It's called Montage. If you see, there's a Ben Stiller skit in that movie.
Oh, right.
And I'm in there acting with him.
Oh,
and it's called Our Beach. It's like hilarious. So then it was just kind of funny to meet him at that thing with Jack, and then eventually I was able to do a skit with him. Yeah. And then he has a new movie out, which I was like an extra, and I was a bartender in that new movie, Tropic Thunder.
Oh, right.
But they cut my scene out. So I had like 2 all-night shoots. I had to stay up from 6 at night till 6 in the morning. They're like, oh, it's going to be amazing. You're going to I told my wife, I'm like, go see the movie. I'm in it. And then she's like, there's no party scene. You got cut out. So I'm not in the movie.
That's all right.
It was fun, though. I was there, I guess.
Now,
That's my big acting debut. I got cut right out of the movie.
Okay. This is one more question about surfing, then we'll do our funny little short interviews, okay? Yeah. Now, did you leave surfing and start singing because you knew you could never beat Kelly Slater?
Well, you know what's funny is I never surfed competitively, but...
Oh, didn't you?
No. Well, I mean, I did it as an amateur, and then... Actually, I had a couple of like professional events, but I was like horrible at competition. Like,
yeah.
Kelly could beat me at, like switchfoot. You know what I mean? Because I just out in the water, I just don't get competitive. I just really wasn't into that. But it was something in the beginning of my career that I had to do, because there was no such thing as like somebody who gets paid just to go on surf trips and sort of that like promoting the lifestyle of surfing, or I don't know. It was all about contests, and I don't know. It was like a couple of years after turning pro, Billabong started saying, "Hey, how about instead of going to the next event, we send you to Iceland?" And I was like, well, all right. And then a couple months later, they're like, how about going to Italy? And then how about going here? And I'm like, what's going on right now? I'm like, I'm just going to travel and get paid to surf. And so that's kind of how it kind of spiraled into something else. But all those guys on the top 44 and on the tour are like the best surfers in the world. You know, they could beat me freaking with, you know, whatever, standing on their head.
What's the biggest surf you've ever surfed?
I'd say like 15 or 20 foot faces.
Where was that?
You know, like Sunset Beach. I remember I was out one day at Waimea, and it was so big. I paddled in. I was like, I think if I wipe out on with these face, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, people might have been like, "What a pussy." But I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to die." I mean, I don't know. It's like those guys, like, you know, it's a different sort of lifestyle when you're surfing, and you're like, I mean, there's definitely like people that are crazy that surf big waves, but there's people that like are passionate about it and they train, you know, and it's like, I'll have a couple of cigarettes, have some beer, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden the waves will go big, and they'll be like, "Come on, we're towing you in." And I'll be like, I don't know. It's like I feel like your mind has to be like focused on riding 15-foot plus waves. And for me, it's like, you know, I'll be the first one to say, like, hey, I think that's a little too big for me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm married with 2 kids, man.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to die. At least, you know, not right now.